I talked about, many of you got the CCL insights, and we talked about loving yourself just the way you are. And last time I gave this talk was in 2015. And I keep telling people, you need to love yourself just the way you are. And no matter how many times I say that, I've had people come in and say, I can't love myself, I don't have a partner. I can't love myself, I need to lose weight. I can't love myself until I get a new job. What are your I can't love myself but? Let them go. You're here because you chose to come here. Now that might surprise some of you. You might say, I didn't choose this. If I wanted to choose anything, I would have chosen Mercury or Saturn or someplace else, who knows. But we all come here because this is where we felt our growth, our next step in growth is going to be. You're growing, you're learning, but the biggest thing you're learning is how wonderful you are. Because every one of the great religions talks about us being a part of, but not separate from, Creator. And when you're part of Creator, you are absolutely the best you can be. But often, people don't want to accept it. So, remember, just the way you are is absolutely a perfect place to be. Now, you might decide, I was talking to Carol a little bit earlier, and she's taking a seminar next week. Yeah, she wants to learn. That doesn't mean you're changing who you are, you're just becoming better. Whether it's through classes, it's through, when you don't like a job and it limits you, find another one. Or say, I'm going to take a short vacation. How many of you have ever taken a vacation from a job? And that's before retirement, folks. You know, but you just, and you go, I've got to get myself together. And I've got to realize how wonderful I am. And it's just as easy as looking into the mirror. For our age retreat yesterday, Jan passed out mirrors, and everybody got a mirror that they could look at themselves. And that wonderful poem, part of which she sang about this morning, of seeing yourself and appreciating exactly who you are. And I know when I say, love yourself, and I look at people and they kind of go, oh yeah, but I'm going to make you prove it. I want each one of you to cross your arms and cross your heart, and I want you to say, I love myself.
I love myself.
Didn't hear you. One more time.
I love myself.
Let's do it one more time.
I love myself.
Now, just hold on, close your eyes, and feel it. Just feel the love vibrating across your heart. And hold that with you today. Just hold that love of yourself. And any time you feel that you're not good enough, remember, you are. Okay? And it's interesting, some people are smiling, some people are glowering. Isn't that a great word? Some people are looking at me like, this is silly. Whatever you feel, know that you deserve to be hugged and you deserve to be loved.
We don't have words. Oh, I remember.
Are you okay? I do too. Thank you anyway. Does Byron come to mind?
Oh, no, the how could anybody ever?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
I saw Byron yesterday.
Yeah.
Never mind.
How many, now that you know you love yourself, think about that. Who were the people in your life that told you you couldn't love yourself? Or that you weren't worth it? Or you weren't worthy? Sometimes it might have been parents. Or sometimes it might have been well-meaning friends. Or teachers. There's so many times that we feel the outside world is defining who we are. And we're going to sing a song. And April and Janet and whoever else knows I love myself. Would you please come up and join us? No,
The other one.
no, you
How
don't
could
have,
anyone
you
ever
don't have a
tell
copy of it.
How could anybody?
How could
Well, I was
anybody-
always asking her if people had copies of the words.
No,
Yeah, it's not that. Let me see it right now.
no, it's short enough, I don't think they need. Not I, okay.
Yes, we know which one.
Which one? Oh, how could anyone ever tell?
Oh, you can, did you want to play the guitar, or are you fine with it?
We can do either way.
Okay.
That's April.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
So this is a song to just
Guitar?
crack you open and remember how much you are loved and how much you are valued and how much just being you is a gift to us. And
if the leaders could walk amongst the group, that would be wonderful.
so it might just, if you know it, it's got, the words, the song is How Could Anyone? And we've sung it before here. Mary Gary sometimes has us sing it when she's doing a talk.
Yeah.
So you might be familiar with it, and I apologize for not making copies of the words so you all could have them.
And it's a
So-
wonderful, wonderful song.
This is the song that taught me that I was okay when I was diagnosed with AIDS and I
Exactly.
hated myself. And Jan showed me that I could be loved and she taught me this.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
She said,
Okay.
You saved us. How can anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, ladies.
And Ronnie.
Well, and Ron, of course. And how did that feel? How many of you wanted to cry?
Let those tears come.
Bless you, bless you. That is one of those songs, you realize how badly you were hurt. How many times you didn't hear those wonderful words and how wonderful you are. And how beautiful you are. I was going to tell a quick story. I have a friend that I talk about quite often. His name is Byron Floyd. And my dear Byron was one of the greatest loves of my life. And when he was 6, he went in for surgery. And Byron was born with 6 fingers on each hand. And when he went to kindergarten, everybody made fun of him. Everybody told him he was a freak. Everybody went on and on and on. And he was so upset that he underwent surgery to have that digit removed on both hands. And he said when he went back to school, he felt great because he was now like all the other kids. And when he was in college, a woman walked up to him one day and said, "You're Byron Floyd." And he said, "Yeah." She said, I went to kindergarten with you, and I always loved holding your hands because you had an extra finger. So when you held my hand, I felt safe.
Wow.
And he went, wow, I never knew I was appreciated. And she was one who had had a lot of trouble at home, and it was such a great feeling to hold this little boy's hand. And that extra finger made her feel safe. And how many times in life do you have something that you think is ridiculous or bad or needs to be removed or taken away, when it's probably something that's giving you a better feeling, but particularly the friends you have appreciate it. Ronnie, you're nodding your head. What's that about?
When I was
Come on,
small,
stand up.
when I was small, my brothers and sisters, because I weighed 75 pounds and stood, I think I was born 5'2".
Sorry for your
My poor mother didn't have a baby under 9 pounds. Poor girl. But because of the fact that I was so thin, my nose was very pronounced on my face. So my brothers and sisters and people that I grew up with picked on me about that all of my life. And a few years ago, I looked in the mirror and I thought that I was ugly, and I looked in the mirror and I saw a beautiful person staring back at me.
Yeah.
Because I had come to terms with my nose.
Yeah.
And the comedian Red Fox says, he said that when he was talking about age, he said he heard people saying that if they didn't want to get old and get in folks' way, he says, if I'm in your way, move me. If my nose is in your way, then you're the one with the problem.
I wanted to bring that up, and thank you, Ronnie, for sharing. How many of you were ridiculed, humiliated, abused, tortured, said bad words to, or any way demeaned when you were growing up? Just keep your hands up. How many of you? Yeah, just about everybody in the room. And what happened? You hold on to it. It's time to let it go, folks. Whoever was doing this was probably insecure about something in their life. And once you realize that it was their problem, and you let it go, and whether it's now, whether it's your family, whether it's work, whether it's just somebody on the street, just say, oh, that's interesting. I love that. That's interesting. They've got a problem. And release it, because if you hold on to it, it keeps festering. And pretty soon you start feeling less than because somebody didn't like a part of you. I have shared this quite often with my congregation because it was a turning point in my life. When I was 16, I ran away from home. And my parents brought me back. And I was that, 16-year-old who, I was fat and I was ugly and I had pimples and I had, my hair was thin, and I just decided that I was no good, and I wasn't going to stay with them because my father hit me regularly, and I realized that I was going to run away and find someplace safe. Well, I got brought back, and then my dad said, I think you should go stay with your Aunt Gert. Aunt Gert lived in Palm Springs. It's a pretty good place to go to if you're going to be sent away. And the minute I walked in, she looked at me and she said, Dottie, has anybody ever told you you have beautiful eyebrows? Now that's the only thing she could find good. I know she was thinking before I got there, I've got to find something good in this kid. And for the next week, she plucked them a little bit, she darkened a few, and I just, it made me open my eyes a lot wider, and it made me, but I had something that was good. And so often we make kids feel like there's nothing in them that's good. We've taken away all of that, and then we wonder why they act out. And so for each of you, you do the same thing to yourself. You look in the mirror and you think, oh no, my tummy's a little poochy. Or you look in the mirror and you think, oh, maybe my booty's a little big, or maybe my nose is a little long, or maybe whatever it is. We go through this litany of why we're not okay. How many times have you said to yourself, oh, that's stupid? Any of you ever say that's stupid? Whether it's outright, out, and or you do it because. Why do you think that? Because you did something and you went, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's all part of this image we have of ourselves. And each time we say something like that, our brain records it. Our brain doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. When you say, I'm stupid, the brain goes, oh, we have to be stupid. I'm ugly, oh, we have to be ugly. I'm no good, nobody loves me. Look at all of those negatives that you do. And they get repeated because your brain thinks that you really mean it. And you do something, your brain says, oh, that's because you're stupid. And you go, yeah.
Oh, I know the answer.
Yeah. Anybody ever, am I talking to the right people? Any of you ever had this happen?
I just have to thank.
Hallelujah, amen. What do you want?
For bringing up the nose thing, because I'm a
Stand up.
cashew,
Yeah.
and I have a Jewish Catholic nose. So this is the Jewish hump and the Catholic bump. What people used to say was, they'd say, only the nose knows.
Oh.
So they would say these things to me in school. And you know, I thought, and I had sinus problems, and my father said, when you get old enough, Janet, you can get a nose job. He says, because I know it's bothering you. He said, we'll get you a nose job and fix your sinuses at the same time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to keep it.
You and Barbara Streisand.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Keep
good.
it, keep
Yeah,
it.
Keep it. And it's just that, but sometimes you inside don't feel right. Sometimes you inside go, wait a minute, I didn't want to come in with this kind of nose, and I'm going to change it. And thankfully now we have people who say, I didn't come in with that kind of gender, and I'm going to change it.
Yes.
People come in with, I don't want that kind of religion. I don't want that kind. More and more people are saying, I don't want that kind of, and they can change it. But change it, yes, Simon?
Sometimes you have to love yourself enough to accept that you deserve to change something.
Exactly, exactly.
Beautifully said.
That's very nicely said. Yeah, because quite often we think, well, maybe I'm not worth that. I'll just suffer. Any of you just suffered through something? Yeah. Any women in here ever get a new pair of shoes, but you really liked them, but you had to suffer wearing them? Yeah.
But sometimes it can't change.
Yeah,
I mean,
some-
for example, I have psoriasis.
Mhm.
Now, it's not as severe as it was when I was a child, but when I was a child,
Wow.
they wouldn't even send me to school the day that they were giving vaccines at the school because they called my mother and said, well, what if we accidentally vaccinate a scab and it goes down and it hits her in other parts of her body and then she's going to get vaccinated all over her body. Send her home. So there were parents that would tell their children, don't get near that girl, she's going to give you a disease. Because psoriasis is associated as a type of leprosy.
Wow.
It's not, folks. It's not. It's an inflammation condition. And, you know, so I do have a story where I actually chased a girl around the school grounds because she screamed and ran away from me every time I came near her. I tackled her on the ground, I rubbed myself over and I said, you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it, see, it's not contagious. And I think that her mother let her play with me after that, but it was just, it was very interesting because, you know, you feel very isolated. And so when things you can't change, and I still to this day, when I have a breakout, I've had people back away, and I say it's just psoriasis, and most of the time they relax. But when it can't be changed, you have to learn to love yourself how you are. And that's a really hard lesson to learn sometimes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you
The
for
serenity
sharing.
prayer.
Yeah, and the serenity prayer. Yes, exactly. Very, very good. And there are so many things that we have. Sometimes it's because we speak a different language, and people don't want to talk to us. Sometimes it's because we have a different faith, and people don't want to be near you, almost like it's catching. But folks, be who you are. That's the most important thing. I'm always surprised because I tell people, I want you to wake up in the morning, after your shower, stark naked, and look in a full-length mirror and say, I am beautiful. And they go, I can't do that. Well, why not? They just look at me like, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. I said, do you realize you're beautiful? And they go, I'm not beautiful. I said, that's why I want you to stand stark naked, look in a mirror and say, I am the most beautiful me there is. Nobody else is as beautiful a Dottie as Dottie is. Nobody is more beautiful Ronnie than Ronnie is. Nobody is a more beautiful Amina than Amina is. I mean, we're the most beautiful person we can be. And so think of that, of honoring yourself by telling yourself, because, like the song was saying, how could you ever feel anything different than being beautiful? So right now, I'd like you to make a mental list. Just think of it for a few minutes, of the things about you that are most beautiful. And if it's not your whole body, let's take parts. How many of you got a beautiful pinky toe? Yeah, good, thank you. We got one hand. How many of you got good-looking ears? Think about that. Good-looking ears, yeah. How many of you got a great chin? Some of you got, yeah, a great chin. Some of them are covered with hair, and they're still a great chin. How many of you know that the curve of your back is really beautiful? Yeah, just think of that. Yeah, think of those places, and let's start gathering them together. How many of you, people that have beautiful hair? Paul Lance has beautiful hair. You folks notice he got a haircut, and you can look at that beautiful hair. He's got gorgeous hair. And Mel has the greatest looking hair he's ever had right now. And so think of the things that you have, and just kind of close your eyes and think of mentally 5 beautiful things you have, okay? Now let's put characteristics in there. You keep your eyes closed, and are you a good listener? Are you a good singer? Are you a good eater? Are you a good cook? Are you good with money? Or are you a great spender? What are these characteristics that define you that are so good? These wonderful traits that you have. Don't look at the negative, look at the positive. Are you a great congregant in the CCL? Are you great at holding the place for other people? Are you a great friend? Do you have a great smile? And when you think of it, how many of you are good painters or good at computers? Whew. This morning we needed people good at computers. Just think of the things you're good at. And now you have a picture, and you can keep adding to that during the day, of the things that are so beautiful that you appreciate. The things and traits you have that are so wonderful. And by the end of the day, you're going to have a full picture of who you truly are, of all the beautiful things. So how did that feel? Can you find things that are just absolutely wonderful within you? Isn't it amazing where you dwell on maybe the one mole you have on your face when you've got a whole beautiful body? There are so many things that you can think about that are incredible. So as we do this, make a habit of it. If somebody, have you ever had anybody you know walk by and not say hello? And you feel slighted. Yeah. Why is that the first thing you go to? They did me wrong. Instead of, boy, they must be really going somewhere in a hurry, or they've got other things on their mind, we immediately feel taken advantage of or hurt.
Maybe they didn't see you.
Hey, yeah, that's true. At my age, I probably didn't, you know. Maybe there was something going on in their life. And yet, we are raised that we make that first judgment and hold on to it all day. Well, they didn't talk to me. Huh, well, I'm not going to talk to them. Stop that. People are going to do things. Don't keep them hostage through what they do. Instead of holding them hostage for the things they did, say, I love you, unconditionally. Have you ever said I love you to somebody you work with?
No, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it's weird unless you have this ongoing thing. Oh, you know, this morning you passed by and didn't say hello, that's okay, I love you anyway. Okay? You know? You didn't tell me my slip was showing. I told you, you're on slip duty today, and you didn't say it. That's okay, I caught it. But those things that we expect people to do and the way we expect them to treat us, let's stop doing those expectations of people and just love them the way they are. But you can't love them until you love yourself. It starts right here, folks. And that loving yourself is one of those things that we were told by many people that we shouldn't do. Who do you think you are was a good one. When school, when I wanted to answer the question and I raised my hand for the 50th time because I'd answered all the others, you know, I don't know if any of you were smart alecks like that. You had to have your hand up first, and finally somebody would say, who do you think you are? Let other people in. Well, I thought I was pretty darn smart because I happened to know the answers, you know? But then I felt less than. Oh, I can't shine. And watch kids and watch them shine and encourage that shining instead of telling them, oh no, you don't want to stand out. Oh no, you don't want to be thought of as special. Oh no. And I hear that all the time. Parents come to see me and they bring their kids, and their kids running around my little office, and they say, oh, sit down. Now be quiet, you have to be quiet. I said, no, you don't. You can hear me just fine. They're exploring. And they go, yeah, but you don't know. They do this and they do. Yeah, I do know. They're kids. I've been around loads of them. And that's what they're doing. They're not bad, but you're making them feel badly about themselves. And you as parents or grandparents, or me as a great-grandparent, I got to see my new great-grandbaby last week. Donovan. Yeah, he's 6 weeks old and he's a lump. He just lays there and poops and eats and he doesn't cry. Didn't cry at all. Didn't cry. Bothered me. Didn't cry. I felt like pinching him, see if he was there. You know? Maybe. But all these kids that we have, that we make a difference in honoring them and loving them and accepting them and telling them they're wonderful and telling them they're great. You gotta listen to granddaughter stories here, because Parker is 10. And Parker is a gymnast, and she came in 6th in a school of 100 little girls. Wow. And so she just thinks she is something, and I do too. And I sent her all these, congrats. And my son says, finally, my boys are going into soccer, and I can take pictures of him. He said, Mom, I feel like a perv taking pictures with all these little girls in the background. I said, Clark, you're fine. But he says, now my boys are getting into soccer, and I can really take pictures of them. And I said, you can still take pictures of Parker. He said, I don't have to. She takes selfies.
It's a little hard what to do when you're walking on the balance beam.
On the balance beam, yeah.
Yeah.
But and so shining, let those little kids shine and keep telling them how wonderful they are. Because they're a child of God. And because they're my grandchildren. When you were saying, how can anybody ever tell you? Did you learn that song? So, because you're going to find it going through your head today. How did anybody ever tell you? What were they thinking to tell you that you didn't have beautiful eyebrows? Tell you that there was something wrong with you? Because almost everybody raised their hands of having been humiliated or treated badly. But usually this comes from somebody who was treated badly. Usually the biggest bully on the playground is usually being bullied either at home or by somebody else. They're reacting to what was happening to them. So when somebody does that, this whole thing about road rage, of people acting out because something's happened to them. And I've mentioned before, when you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, bless them. And my blessing is, bless you.
Bless you very much.
I bless you. Bless you. Okay? But if you say, I damn you, they could stop dead right there. He got damned and he stopped. What happens to you? You plow into the back and you're responsible for everything. Insurance, a lawsuit, everything. Just because you decided to tell somebody, I'm going to damn you. So please don't do that. Please bless people. Yes?
Just remember, they might be on the way to the restroom.
Yeah, that's true. They might be on the way. They might even be on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you want to think of that, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't be the one to send them to the hospital.
Right.
And remember, our deepest fear is not that we're not good enough. Our deepest fear is that we don't realize how powerful we really are. And each one of you is very, very powerful. And now we're going to lead you in another song, and I'm going to have to let Annie do this and follow the words, because these words are just a little bit different than what you might have learned before. Okay?
Okay.
And Annie, here's the microphone.
Oh, goody. And one more. It's inside, I take it it's this one. This one.
Yeah.
It's inside your program.
Share it if somebody next to you doesn't know.
It's the.
This song was also used in with people living with HIV and AIDS for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
They sang this at the Hay House in LA, and Louise Hay was the first person that gathered men that were HIV positive into her home. And this was part of what they called the Hay Ride.
That's
It
right.
was sung by Alliance, and unfortunately, most of the singers in the group of Alliance passed with AIDS. Right.
Yes. And so it was a lovely group. They actually came to perform over at, when it was First Church, over there on Clark Street. And I got the pleasure of getting to see them and hear them sing this for the first time. So I bought the CD and I love the song. So sing along with me. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. And I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel this love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. And I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am.
How do you love yourself?
I love myself just the way I am.
Yay!
Beautiful. Enjoy the choir, y'all.
You didn't know Annie was singing notes. I was saying Annie was singing, taking notes. You know,
That's
she
right.
needs
Oh,
more
you.
people in the choir. Now, every time that comes across that plot, well, I should be doing. Stop and say, is that what I truly want to be doing? Is that the thing I want to do? Because your inner compass is very good. Because each one of you has that wonderful sense of what is right. So honor that. Honor that with accepting it. And might accept it as a new idea or a different idea. But just start really accepting yourself. Okay. And now we're going to give you, where did Corky go?
Like that.
She just walked out the door.
She's probably helping Jen with her.
Hi, we're going to pass the basket.
Well, yeah, good for us.
That's the basket.
For those of you, or Annie, some checks fill out. For those of you who are new, we have a little round bowl up here, and in your program, you have a prayer request, and you can write down prayer requests and put them in this little round bowl, okay? And now,
Do we have our, we do, we're waiting.
Oh, good.
Giving to the ministry, from which we receive our spiritual support and nurturing, is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that Spirit is the prospering power, enriching every area of our lives. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me and blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me and blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly.
April, is next Monday?
It is, not tomorrow, but
No,
the next Monday.
Next Monday is meditation, not tomorrow. Okay, wonderful. Well, hey, Reverend Ronnie Grigsby, you haven't been